For Idaho News 6, I'm senior reporter Don Nelson. Utah Senator Mike Lee has backtracked on his plan to sell millions of acres of federal land in 11 western states, including Idaho. A Senate parliamentarian said you can't do it. What does that mean for the future of his plan? After receiving criticism from both sides of the aisle, Senator Lee has offered revisions to a controversial proposal to sell millions of acres of public land. This after the Senate parliamentarian said his original proposal violates Senate rules.
The Senate parliamentarian in the United States Senate or in the legislature of the state of Idaho is someone who is empowered to observe upon, interpret, and rule upon procedures and processes which the Senate is using or proposing to use as to their appropriateness, their fairness, and their compliance with rules.
It's all part of a workaround for passing legislation that lawmakers have been leaning on lately. Former Idaho Attorney General David Leroy explains.
There's a separate process called budget reconciliation where they can go straight to a 51-person vote without having to require a supermajority of 60 votes to consider that bill, but only if a budget reconciliation bill deals with fiscal matters only and not new topics, not substantive legislation.
Basically, in these deeply divided times, lawmakers use a loophole to pass legislation with a slimmer majority and avoid the filibuster. But Senator Lee isn't done trying to sell off public land. He's working on a revision that would limit BLM land sales to property within 5 miles of a population center. In Boise, that's one of the area's local leaders, like Mayor Lauren McLean, are concerned about. 5 miles would cover a lot of the foothills. Alex Mayer, with a Washington state-based rec tech company called On Water, is also concerned there could be water flow disruptions even in that 5-mile area. I asked him specifically about the Boise foothills.
Mm-hmm.
So it could directly affect property that I'm looking at right now, correct?
That is absolutely correct, Don. The thing that a lot of folks don't understand is that a lot of municipalities rely on the foothills that serve their water sources and serve the recreation that they all enjoy.
I was curious what Idaho Republican leaders thought about the idea. House Speaker Mike Moyle sent me this, quote, "We believe God blessed America with the richest bounty in the world, and Idaho was endowed with its own land and resources not to be hoarded by Washington, but cared for by the people who live closest to it. Our public lands are part of our inheritance. They're meant for our use, our stewardship, and our children's future, not for federal control and not to be sold off to private interests." Lee originally said the proposed public land sale was a way to increase public housing opportunities. He says he wants to protect farmers, ranchers, and recreational users. We'll pay close attention. Reporting from the Boise foothills, I'm senior reporter Don Nelson, Idaho News 6.